Hooray! Anybody living in here? It's been a minute since I've been in here. Woo! I don't know about you, but I'm pretty over this winter. Let's get to it. That part was not near as bad as I thought it was going to be, but now I got to pass it through the firewall, meaning the battery cable. It's nice and long though, at least. That's good. Okay. A lot. I'd consider the hard part to be done. I don't particularly want a red battery cable passing through my engine bay though, so I'll spare you guys, but I will look for some loom. It is seriously cold. I hope you guys can see. I'm just gonna do some work and film a little while I do it. It's basically, I could not find any black sheathing to hide this big red wire, so I'm gonna have to wait and do that later when I do have a budget for stuff. But I got this old factory wire clamp, I guess, I don't know. Basically gonna bolt this here and keep it from touching, and then do some other sketchy shit to connect the original battery cable wires to this one. I really don't want to be down here. It's 10 degrees Fahrenheit, but I've put it off because it's been so cold. But I really just need to be down here doing stuff. It's what I gotta do. Cool. I should have opened that before, but that's alright. Hopefully I don't break it when I loosen this up. Flathead. Go. It's so close. I don't have the dexterity with these gloves on. Alright, we're just gonna do it this way. Slip. Oop, put it on the right direction. I'll slip it over the wire if I can. It is gripping it, which is good. Sick. And then we'll clip that in there, slide that back. Shut up, I do not need to narrate this. It's amazing that stuff can shrink down so much. At least to me, it's pretty amazing. I had to cheat a little bit. I had to buy some parts from my work so that I could wire this up. So I'm in it $15. I had to buy some eyelets that will fit this big wire, and I bought some split loom so that I can not have a red wire floating through my engine bay. So $15 in, guys. That's a little bit more appealing than red wire sticking through your engine bay. I'm gonna use electrical tape. I don't think I have any Testa tape here, or that's what I would use. You know what? Maybe I should look for some Testa tape. Found the soft Testa tape. Not really what I want. I prefer the hard tessa tape. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I guess I'm just going to use electrical tape to wrap this up. I was fighting with this last time I was videoing when it was really cold and I had no dexterity. It is about 30 degrees today, so I should be able to have the dexterity to open this, get this over this, and connect these two. I got it open. Hooray. Should open that up a little more, I think. I think I'll bolt these together first and then clip that in. Red is for danger. Sorry, I bumped your head, didn't mean to do that. That worked out. Minus that. Ooh, that didn't sound good. We'll have to figure out what I just broke later. Lucky me! We already have nutserts in some specific locations on this. So I'm going to see if I can line up some of those nutserts with this guy. Drill some holes. Mount it. We'll see how lucky I get lining them up. Pretty lucky. Pretty lucky. Needs to go forward some. I need to find the actual drill bit that I need to use though. The drill that I'm using, I used to only use for sharpening tungsten on a belt sander. It smells terrible while I'm using it, and I think it smokes also. Perfect. Oh no, actually it's not perfect. I'll be able to get the lid on still, I think. Depends on where I put the other bolt, I guess. Cool. Let me get a washer. What do you guys think? Should I put another bolt and nutsert in it? Or should I spare this car drilling more holes in it? I guess I should see if I have any nutserts. Isn't this the most exciting thing you've ever seen? Holy. Perfect. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. It's fine. Isn't it beautiful? I kind of hate it. Now we could do more wiring. Yeah. That's pretty gross. I should probably cut it off and re-strip it in preparation. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe it's not as bad as I'm thinking. I think I'm gonna roll with it. Let's get some stuff. This might come as a surprise, but I don't actually have the proper crimping tool for wire this big. I'm gonna show you a little trick. You can judge me if you want, but I honestly do not care. It's honestly a miracle that I have a job. This is a brake flaring tool, probably from 1960, or maybe even the 50s, I don't know. Can you see that? You're on a tripod right now, you probably can't see. I'll get you closer once I'm done with this. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh, it's so good. I think it's good. Whatever. All right, let's sum this up. Wired, 140 amp breaker, battery ground to the chassis. Still probably not going to work too good, but we'll see. All right, as you can see, circuit breaker's on. Got some lights up in here. Let's give her a shot. Oh. I think the battery's dead. Yeah, battery's dead. Crap. Well, while that's going, I'm going to get my jack down here from up top in the garage. I guess I'll lift this thing up and start f***ing with the brakes. And welding on the brake stuff. And I think there's some suspension work that I need to do as well. The ground's cold. Here we go. Alright. Breaker on. Let's try again. No, I don't think it's going to run continuously because I don't have the fuel pump jumped right now, but let's see if it'll even start. Cool. No, I still don't feel good about that. Alright, I feel okay about that. Come here. Alright. So the main thing with the parking brake on this side, let's see if I can weasel this thing out. I wrapped it around so that it wouldn't get ran over. Alright. There are two studs broken off in there that I need to get out. And I guess they bolt from this side. I don't remember. I can't remember at all. I can't see. It's too dark. Okay. But anyway, those need to be fixed. Oh, I thought the brake line leak was happening more towards the back of the car. I was hopeful, but it's actually happening way more closer up to the front of the car, which means I'm gonna have to lift the front of the car too, which I was trying to avoid because it sketches me out being on jack stands like that, but we gotta do it, so here we go. Let's play a game called Find the Brake Leak. I got distracted. I decided I was gonna let this thing run for a while, and I did think that it fixed itself with the fuel pump running constantly, but I was wrong. I just didn't let it run long enough, and it stalled out. I don't know why it's doing that, but that's for future Ross to figure out. But right now, we're going to make the brakes work. So let's figure out where they're leaking from. Honestly, the lines underneath the car look terrible, so I should probably replace them all anyway. It's just, where do I start? I don't think I'm going to be able to section anything in. I'm probably going to have to start from the very front of the car and run them the whole way to the back of the car, and that's no fun. Especially when you're only like 8 inches off the ground. It's more than that, but I'm hyperbolic. Are we leaking yet? I could have swore it blew out somewhere in the middle, but those brake lines are right here. I guess I'm just gonna have to let them drain. Got the plastic cover off of this thing. It's disgusting under here. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about right here. Look how bad that is. I don't know if those are fuel lines, brake lines, or a combination of the two. Yeah. I guess I'll just sit here and wait for it to start dripping. Been sitting here pumping the brakes. Can you hear this? Oh, it is in the back. Sick. That's a lot. I've consulted the book to see why there's 7 lines running to the back of the vehicle in this car. And also, why is there brake lines coming from the body, like out of the body, to the rear brakes? Well, what do I learn? I learned that the ABS actuator is actually underneath the seat of the back of the car. What? What? This got a little bit more complicated. This sucks. What do? I gotta take the interior apart again. I just put it back together. Okay. It's not as bad as I was thinking. Per usual. It looks like it's just underneath this guy. So I only have to pull out one of the seats, I think, in the back. I think. I'll let you know in a minute. Holy f***, this is crazy. I was this many years old when I found out about this. Man, that looks complicated as f***. What do you think? Now I have a question. Do I remove all of this and simplify the braking system? Or do I fix the braking system, fix all the wheel speed sensors, and get this thing to work like it used to from the factory? That's my question. I don't know what to do. That looks very complicated. The brakes are coming up, the brake lines are coming up through the chassis into this thing, and then back out all the way up to the front of the car for the front brakes, and then through the chassis to the rear brakes. Man, that's really complicated, at least to me. I don't really want it to be that complicated. I just kind of want brakes. Decisions to be made. Another fun fact that I just discovered is to get to the junction port, or I guess I'd call it a bulkhead, where all the brake lines pass through. Can you see that through there? Oh man. Right around this area. I'd have to drop the whole subframe out to even be able to get to that and work on it, which is not something I really want to get into with this car. Man. You know how things snowball? This is the definition of that. Man. I have some decisions to make. Man, to be honest with you guys, I am incredibly confused on how this brake system works on this car. I'm looking through the book and it doesn't really give you a diagram on how the brake lines, or what brake line is what coming into this junction box, like through the this bulkhead guy. I'm trying to go through and figure it out, but I am utterly incapable of figuring out what is what. I have a couple of the things marked out what I think they are, but I think what I'm going to have to do is, basically what I'm trying to do is figure out where's the front feed and where's the rear feed and how they split from there. Because what I'm thinking I'm going to have to do is take the proportioning valve off this ABS, mount it back up in the front of the car, have it work like normal, but basically have the proportioning valve up here and bypass the ABS completely, just so I only have to run, I guess, one or two hoses to the rear of the car for the rear brakes, because right now it has seven hoses, 7 brake. Well, 3 of them are going to be your fuel feed, your fuel return, and your fuel vent. But still, there's just too many hoses going back to the back of the car that don't need to be there. I'm trying to simplify this. This is literally all the brake line I have, and I don't even have fittings in it. So I'm going to try to reuse the fittings that are on this car because they still look like they're in good shape. Man, just trying to simplify this, and it is a It is a cluster, that's for sure. All right, I think what I'm going to do now is pull off some of these hoses back here. I'm going to start with the front, remove it here, remove what I think is the front off of the back of that bulkhead, blow some air through it, and verify that that is the feed for the front, and do the same for the rear, and then just follow the path from there. That's how I'm going to have to do it, because I can't get any information from the book on the actual routing and plumbing of this brake system. Feeling really stupid, that's for sure. Alright, I'm going to need you guys to tell me if shit blows out of that. I think that is I think I did find out which one that one is. Let me know what happens. I can't see it from here. Sounded like something. Oh my god, there's brake fluid everywhere. Well, I've gotten underneath this car and pulled all the brake lines down. These are actually the fuel related lines. I don't know if you can see that, but they're on their last leg. They're pretty well corroded the whole way down through. These would be fairly easy to replace. You know, the tank connection's right there, so these are probably going to go away and be replaced with some PTFE line. And I don't need to run the vent the whole way up to the front of the car for specific reasons. But these are also the brake lines here. And they are even more crusty than the fuel lines. So all of this, in my opinion, needs to go away. It's leaking up there too. I just started seeing it drip up there. So all the brake lines the whole way to the back of the car are trashed. So basically what we got going on here is two feed lines from the master, and then we have the front brake lines returning to the front of the car. So it's kind of backwards in my opinion, or I guess in the way I'm typically used to seeing how brake systems work on cars. Usually the rear lines are going to the back of the car, not the front lines. Anyway, I'm still kind of freaking confused about the whole situation there, but what I'm going to do, this is really snowballing, is I'm going to lay on the ground and cry, and then I'm going to have to buck up and actually put a little bit of money into this car. I don't think I have enough brake lines to... I don't think I have enough brake... whatever you call it, brake hard line to run all the brakes back to the back that it needs. And I don't know how I feel about using the stock proportioning valve. So I might do a similar setup that I did to my white Celica, the ST185, to this car, and have just a aftermarket standalone proportioning valve specifically for the rear. That way I only have to run one hose to the back, split it into the two halves, and be done with it. But either way, I have to run hose the whole way to the back of the car for fuel and for the braking system. Snowballing. And also, while I'm under here, I've realized that a lot of the suspension doesn't have the correct hardware in it. The drive shaft is missing hardware. There's a couple brackets missing that go to the subframe. I know where one is, but I do not know where the other one is. So that's a little bit concerning. Man. Ugh. Done crying. I'm gonna figure out what to do next, because I think what it's gonna end up being is ordering stuff. I don't want to do that. I'm trying to do this on a super hard budget, but not all these cars can be free to work on, I guess. This might be where I need to end this video for now. Some decisions need to be made, and that tends to take me some time to think about it, run through all the options, figure out what I need to do. But let's just do a little overview of what's been done, I guess. So, that's latched. That's the wrong button. There we go. Don't need to be adding fuel to it right now. Pulled all the interior apart again, even though I didn't want to. But anyway, we got the battery mounted and wired. Hooray. All that seems to work well. We got the car up off the ground, which you can see the brake mess underneath there. That's all brake fluid. Gross. We got the battery cable. I have it out of the way now because it's really hard to see all the brake lines back there with all that stuff back on the firewall. But got the got the battery wired to the front into the fuse box. The fuse box is mounted with a nice custom bracket that I CNC plasma cut, I guess, before we moved out of the building to get it mounted. It's so fancy. Look at that. You can't even tell. You can't even tell it's there. Super sick. Well, anyway. Yeah, basically all we've done is gotten the battery situation taken care of. And I guess that's one step forward. And the brake system is a couple steps back. That's how it is. It always snowballs a little bit. I think, I don't know. You'll just have to see what I do. I have a lot of thinking to do. A lot of decisions to make. Alright, goodbye.